we have ever seen before. I am very pleased that here today, leaders and all stakeholders coming from all over the world have shown their commitment to working together to solve the challenge of climate change. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to know that the Indonesian Business Council for Sustainable Development has been launched. The Council, together with the Global Coalition on Sustainable Development, could run their mission to be a catalyst for innovation and sustainable growth in a world where resources are increasingly limited. Finally, I'm very pleased to meet you all at this important global event which seeks answer to environmental issues. I hope this meeting shall strengthen synergy between or among all stakeholders, including corporate, NGOs, and government agencies in promoting sustainable business practices to create a better environment for all of us. To end my remark, let me express my thanks to Global Initiative to convene this meeting and to all participants who share to the Business Declaration on Climate Change. We also thank the speakers who have contributed their valuable time and have shared their valuable knowledge at this conference. I thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much indeed, Minister. Before I read the business declaration, let me just indicate the three underpinning principles which lie behind it. The first, as we've heard just now, is that climate change and sustainability, while being an immense environmental challenge, is not only an environmental challenge. It's also a challenge for economic growth. It's also an opportunity for leadership. And these are the principles which underpin the idea of 26+7. Second, companies are already doing many things in this area, in their supply chains, as advocates for reform and for regulation. Progressive companies are opening up new markets, driving innovation and deriving competitive advantage from the work that they're undertaking. Third, Indonesia is a leader on many of these things. Implementation and execution are now key. The world is watching. As for the declaration itself, it is as follows. We, the participants at the B4E Global Summit 2011, support the Indonesian President and the government's commitment to reduce emissions by 26 to 41% by 2020. We will achieve this through both individual company initiatives and by working collectively in partnership with governments and NGOs. We commit to, first, support net zero deforestation by 2020 by phasing out products coming from deforestation of ecologically important forests. Second, reduce our resource intensity by investing heavily in energy and resource efficiency programs and in programs to redesign products and supply chains to achieve more transformative change. 3, promote sustainable business practice throughout supply chains. 4, support programs protecting areas of high biodiversity and natural carbon storage. 5, invest in and promote sustainable urban planning and integrated land use management. 6, intensively promote more sustainable consumption patterns in Indonesia. We are committed to working in close partnership with the Indonesian government to achieve these ambitious goals and deliver successful action on climate change. The costs of inaction are far greater than the costs of action. In order to close this, I would like to ask the head of Cardin to please come to the stage and to present this declaration to the Minister. Could Mr. Sulisto please come to the stage and we shall do that. Thank you very much indeed, Minister. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Silisto. We'd now like to move on to our next session, and to introduce that session, I'd like to invite our moderator, Alex McGilvray, up to the stage, who will then in turn invite his speakers. Thank you very much, Alex.
Who will be the first speaker? Not Alvin. Arvin, up to you.
Sure, to meet you, Peggy. Arvin. Hello, how are you? Nice to meet you. I think, yeah, we have to change. Maybe I'm the last.
Okay. So, this is a very exciting session. I hope you can all hear me and the rest of the panelists. We have an hour. We're going to be focusing on implementation, as we've just heard the business declaration in Indonesia. This session is looking at how sustainable business is progressing across Asia. It's an enormous topic. We have an hour. We have a fantastic panel of 5 speakers, all at senior level, leaders in different sectors: energy, agribusiness and food, and ICT. So we have a really rich experience. We have lessons from China and elsewhere. We're going to be relevant to Indonesia to look at how the business commitments can be implemented. We're going to speak for 25 minutes and then have 35 minutes of discussion with all of the distinguished delegates at the conference. And I'm not going to say very much to begin with. I just want to say a couple of points. First of all, our sympathies obviously with the victims of the tornadoes in the southern USA happening over the last 24 hours, terrible natural disaster relevant to this discussion. Secondly, we welcome the Chinese Premier, who is in Indonesia, indeed staying in this hotel last night, and is looking to significantly increase trade between China and Indonesia, which already last year exceeded $43 billion and is growing in double digits at the moment. So sustainable business in Asia is very relevant to the most senior level of decision makers in Asia. Thirdly, many of you will have heard the commitments and the really impressive speech by Indonesia's president yesterday, and fantastic that the business has come behind the president in delivering that goal. So congratulations to Kadin, to the investment board, and to all Indonesian businesses for making such a strong commitment, which is really exemplary. Fourthly, this is a great opportunity for Asian businesses. Conservative estimates that the size of the green economy by 2020 will be a minimum $3 to $5 trillion. At the moment, the lion's share of the progress is being made by a few countries in Asia, not by the majority of countries. So there is some catching up to be done by some Asian countries, including Indonesia. Investors don't always come to Indonesia. They don't always go to other Asian countries. They often go to China and Korea, and not even Japan. That needs to change, because to create a global economy cannot be the task of just a few countries. So this is a real agenda.